I'm Steve Jasper and I'm the jet lag guy. Welcome to this week's episode of Jet Lag in the News. First, let's look at the study that's a bit scary linking type 2 diabetes and light at night. In a study with 84,790 participants, yes, you read that number correctly, the participants wore light sensors for a week, which recorded day and night light exposure. The researchers recorded any cases of type 2 diabetes that developed after follow-up, and the conclusion, and I'm going to read directly here, was that type 2 diabetes risk was higher in people exposed to brighter night light and in people exposed to light patterns that may disrupt circadian rhythms. Avoidance of light at night could be a simple and cost-effective recommendation that mitigates risk of diabetes even in those with high genetic risk. So, a very simple health measure is to switch off lights at night and have your bedroom as dark as possible. When I think of this study, what I think of with this study is hospitals, because you tend to have a lot of bright lights at night and typically vulnerable populations of people who are ill. This is particularly the case for intensive care units where you have the sickest of the sick and the most bright lights because you have a lot of very necessary machines, each radiating light. So perhaps we need a rethink of ambient light in the hospital setting. And this has implications for jet lag because of course it does. Why else would I be talking about it? The disruption of light at night, and some hotels can be terrible for having lights around night, can have a negative impact on your health. So I recommend sunlight or retimer glasses for the daytime to reset your circadian rhythm. But I also recommend darkness or orange lens glasses for the nighttime. So light therapy includes darkness therapy at the right time. Okay, over to Australia. We have some more information about the Qantas hacking story. The data breach came from a Filipino call center where they used a phishing technique to get the details of 6 million Qantas customers. To date, there have been no ransom demands, which is the usual procedure when there is a breach like this is made. Reassuringly, and I'm quoting directly from the email Qantas sent to its customers, of which I'm one, no credit card details, personal financial information, or passport details are held in the system that was accessed. No frequent flyer accounts, passwords, PIN numbers, or login details have been compromised. So that's some good news at least. However, and I'm directly quoting David Flynn from Executive Traveller here, the biggest immediate risk is that armed with your name, email address, phone numbers, and Qantas frequent flyer number, scammers can impersonate Qantas in an attempt to harvest more of your personal information and potentially do real damage. So please be wary of any strange emails you get allegedly from Qantas. Qantas CEO Vanessa Hudson was criticised for the delay in getting in front of cameras and addressing the issue directly. And I think it's important for the CEO of a company to be upfront and visible when there is a crisis like this. As it turned out, it took just one phone call at the Filipino call center to access the data. And I'm wondering if there will be pressure to bring call centers back to mainland Australia. In my own experience in the pharmaceutical industry, there have been a lot of calls being offshored, which is cheaper for companies in terms of salaries to staff, and typically it's India or the Philippines. But there's also been a lot of pushback from the Australian public. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, some concerning news coming out of the United Kingdom. A former NHS manager, Sally Westcott, has been ordered by the UK regulator to stop selling sleep gummies. Now, these raspberry-flavoured gummies are marketed as magnesium glycinate. They are made in China, and it turns out there is a significant amount of melatonin in the gummies. The gummies were analysed as having 0.53 milligrams of melatonin, and the recommended starting dose for children is 0.5 milligrams, so it's a hefty dose. And the scary part about it is that it's not labelled as containing melatonin, so this is giving prescription-only medication to children without their parents' consent or knowledge. These gummies are still available on eBay, again without disclosing that they contain melatonin. Last week, I came across an article about melatonin products being sold by Kourtney Kardashian, and my advice is still, as always, get your medical advice from a medical professional, not a Kardashian. And I understand there is a reluctance to prescribe melatonin, particularly to children, and it seems to be particularly a problem in the UK. I do think that prescribing melatonin should be supervised by a clinician, but I also think if children genuinely need melatonin, there shouldn't be months of delay in obtaining it. And I certainly don't think caseworkers should be reporting parents to social services for trying to do what's best for their children. Finally, melatonin has been used a lot as a treatment for jet lag, and you can buy it over the counter in the United States and Canada. I would counter that while melatonin can be useful, there are other strategies I would use first before resorting to drugs, and I say that as a trained and qualified pharmacist. Finally, I crossed to India. This week I learned about a different type of jet lag, where a British F-35 fighter jet flew to India and was left stranded at an airfield due to mechanical issues. And there's in a city, I won't even attempt to pronounce it. I'm putting it up on the screen. So the jet lagged on the tarmac in Kerala state in southern India for some time, and it's become a tourist attraction there. Meanwhile, Kerala Tourism has been using the jet to promote their coconut palm-lined beaches, sun-kissed climate and vibrant culture to tourists, with the fake review from the fighter jet saying, Kerala is such an amazing place, I don't want to leave. Definitely recommend 5 stars. So well played, Kerala Tourism. And I have seen the city in question, but only from 30,000 feet. So I can't tell you how lovely it is on the ground. And I'm worried if my plane did land there, I might not be able to leave because my plane liked it so much. If you have any questions or want to know more about what I do, check out my website at www.jetlagguide.com.au. There's another book on the way, and you'll be the first to know when it's released. And that's this week's Jet Lag in the News. I'm Steve Jasper. Thank you for your attention.